love Dan. She love gunman brand new M1 scope at top with the pan one done. We been bad shoot up a place from go axis. Sergeant them never kill a man, never make a toe. Tag me head sick, me head mad shoot it.
Everybody, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys about my labor experience. Just a quick disclaimer, this isn't to scare any pregnant mamas that are about to give birth, and this isn't to stop anyone from going to the hospital of their choice to have their babies, and just to say that everybody's labor experience is different, and this was just my story. So as I said, I went to the hospital at 9:30, and let's just say when I got to the hospital I was in pain. The pain started to kick in, you know, and of course you have to go to this little room where the nurse asks you questions like, oh, have you came in contact with someone who had COVID, or just those stuff. And let me just start by saying getting to the hospital was just uncomfortable, just point blank. It was uncomfortable. The nurse and the doctor was in there talking about their shift and how them go leave early. They were talking to their other friend and they were like ha 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 ha, while I was there sitting in the seat like, okay. So me in pain and nobody now look for me. I mean, after a while they eventually started to give me attention because I was like, hello, like, what's going on? So after that, obviously I was checked to see how dilated I was, and I was 7 centimeters at the time. I got rolled in a wheelchair and I had to go over to the registration section where I was given this band, or this armband, you know, to say that you're being admitted with your name and the time and whatever. There was this really nice porter and she helped me get my bags up along with me, of course. And so while going up in the elevator, the pain started to kick. The pain was bad. It was really bad. And you get into this little room where you have like this sign, and this sign basically tells you the steps of what you need to do. Oh, you need to have a shower, you need to get your pajamas on, or your nightie, or you know, whatever you guys call it. And basically I had to do all of that. You had to remove your undergarments, your underwear, all of that stuff, and put a sanitary napkin between your legs, so you know, in case any little blood or any little mucus or whatever is coming down during that time, you know, a lot of stuff is coming down at that time. And I sat there with my luggage after doing all of that. So you know, while you're in pain you have to be doing all of those things. And so I sat down in the chair for a good 30 to 40 minutes. Like, I was sitting down there was nobody to talk to, there was nobody to say what is the procedure, what's going to happen next. I was like, okay, so clearly this baby is going to come out on the floor. Like, that's just it. During this time I was texting my mom and texting my friend Lisa, and I was like, okay, listen, like, it looked like this is it because I don't see anybody. And when I like stood up and I walked out to go find somebody now, the nurse was like, you just have to go and relax because there's only 6 nurses in the unit and there's a lot of pregnant people. So basically I was like, okay. So I sat there feeling the contractions. They were coming on fast and fast, and obviously other moms came who were in labor and they were feeling pain, and you know, we were talking, we were like, okay, so we're going to sit here for a while. That means that all our babies are going to come at the same time. So after a while, after a long while, they actually came out to us and we had to sign up this whole bag of documents that, oh, if something was to happen, we're not going to blame the hospital, or I'm going to be provided with this medicine. Are you okay with being provided with this medicine? If anything was to happen, would you be okay to rush into an emergency C-section, and all of those little things. We were provided with, I don't remember what it's called. Oh my gosh, it's right at the tip of my tongue. But it's basically to clean out the excess poop that's in your body. So we got that, and when I remember, I'm obviously going to put this on the screen so you guys can see, because you know, I'm always coming up for you guys. So after you do that, now you're supposed to sit and wait for whatever to come down. So basically they want you to be all cleared out, so when you're actually pushing on the baby, there's no excess poop or all of these things that are going to come. So after that, I still sat in that room. All of us did, because there was no bed to accommodate us. And so we had to sit there for, I think that was another 20 minutes. And then when I got into the hospital bed, when I finally got the bed, no, I started to feel like, okay, this child is coming. Like, I literally felt like my body was pushing. I wasn't pushing. I was just like, hey, nurse, 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 I feel like I'm pushing, like my body is pushing. She said to me, don't push. Why are you pushing? I'm like, lady, I'm not the one pushing. I'm like, mothers out there who know what labor feels like, you guys know that when the baby is coming, the baby just comes. Like, you feel pressure down there, your body practically just pre-pushes. So basically that was what was happening to me. My body was like pre-pushing. And so I was like, okay. I called her like 3 times. She came to me and she was like, there's no way you can move from 7 centimeters to 10 centimeters in that short space of a time. Which to me, I was like, I sat literally down for a good 2 to 3 hours before I got on a bed. So what is this lady really saying to me? She made it seem like the process was so fast, and I got there and I was 7 centimeters, and the process was so fast, and I just laid down, and now I'm talking about, okay, I need to push. So now this other nurse comes. She's like, oh, I'm going to check you just in case, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I was there on a contraction. You know, they usually wait until your contraction is done before they like check to see if you're dilated, because you know they have to insert their fingers to check to see if you're dilated, etc., etc. This lady did it on the contraction because she was so miserable that she had to come check me. And so she did it, and I was feeling pain on top of the pain that I was feeling, because everybody knows that when they're checking to see how dilated you are, that is very painful. It is uncomfortable. So then this lady turns to me and she's like, I feel the head, I feel the head. What if you didn't make the baby come out on the bed, mommy? So I'm like, me? I'm pretty sure I just told this lady that, hello lady, I feel like my body's pushing, and now here she's telling me that what if I had made the baby come out on the bed and not in the labor room. I'm like, The whole time I was like, there is no way I'm coming back to this hospital if I was to have another child. There is no freaking way. No, 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 no. Definitely not. So while I got pushed into the labor room, now I got up on this bed, guys. I don't even want to talk about what the condition of the bed was like, so I'm just going to leave that out. And just know that it was pretty bad, because it was like a rush situation. There wasn't much cleaning there, so there was that. While I was there, the contractions were coming, and then it just stopped. And I was just there like, okay. She literally, guys, the pain just stopped, and I felt normal, and my back wasn't hurting, and anything wasn't going on. So it's like, my child fell asleep. He was like, you know what, y'all are taking too long. So it's just like, let me go get 5 minutes of sleep. So by then I was there. We're just waiting on the contractions to come on. It was really me just waiting for this contraction to just pick up so I can start pushing, because you know you have to push on the pain. The rain is falling, you guys, so I hope you guys aren't hearing like this ugly sound in the background. So I'm gonna make this fast so we can, you know. So basically I got there now, and I'm chilling like I said before, because this pain is gone, and I'm just like, okay, well, this is that. While they were doing there, they were putting the catheter, you know, trying to get urine out and all the little things. By the way, I didn't have any IVs in my hand or anything, so there was no, you know, there was none of that medical stuff. So it was practically like an all natural labor situation going on there. And then she comes and she's like, oh, let me check the baby's heartbeat. So bear in mind that I've been going to the hospital, like my private doctor, and even getting checked at their doctor on the day before, which was August the 13th. And basically his heartbeat was always between 150 something thereabout. And then she's gonna check the heartbeat, and she's going to be like, oh, his heartbeat is dropping, his heartbeat is at 125. So I'm like, what? Guys, I don't know where the pain come from, but the pain came. And then I was like to her, okay, so I'm feeling pain, blah 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 blah. And she's like, oh, calm down, push when you feel the pain. So I pushed the pain, and I think I pushed on the pain. So I think I pushed maybe 3 times, and then it was just like, ploop, and he came out. So basically, after that situation, I was just there asking, like, is he fine? Man, I think I disrespected a few nurses. I was like, man, did you buy your degree? Like, there's a whole lot of stuff going on there, because even within the labor room, there was still a whole bunch of unprofessionalism, because they were laughing. Like, who is it? You're in pain and people are laughing and chatting like this is some type of backyard. Like, come on now. Like, seriously, let's be real. Let's just be honest. Like, nobody wants to experience that. So after that, basically, I found out that my cervix was torn, my vagina was torn in a bunch of places, and I think I ended up getting 26 to 27 stitches. The whole stitching situation was a situation, because basically there was no numbing, so I was feeling everything. And while feeling everything, you know, you just gave birth, so down there's already feeling weird in a weird situation, a weird complicated thing. And then here's this lady coming with this needle, just pushing it within your skin, and she's just like, oh, don't move, why are you moving? If you move, you're not going to sew properly, and that's going to be your problem. And I'm just like,
ashamed of yourself.
Nah,
are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
There's no way all of these nurses or all of these doctors or all of these people just bought their degrees. They bought everything. Clearly they will have no years of experience. Like, this is some type of, this is the ghetto.
I'm in the ghetto.
This is exactly what it was. But thankfully, my baby was fine. I went to insert little pictures of him when he was just born, and he was 6 pounds flat. So he was a really tiny little thing compared to what he is now. And I was thankful, you know, all the experiences of coming out of the labor room and just being there for a good amount of days. I was there for a good amount of days, because apparently they got some blood sample mixed up and all types of things was going on, and they were even about to give me some injection that I didn't need. So there again, it all comes down to this unprofessionalism and all of these things. And like I said, this is not to discourage anyone from going to the hospital and using the hospital of their choice. I went to public hospital. I don't think I mentioned that. No, I'm mentioning it so you guys can, you know. So this is not to discourage anybody, because I've had many people come to me and say I had a great experience, just that my experience was awful. You know what I mean? After a while, I was just there. I was just miserable. I just wanted to leave. I feel like I was there too long. I think I stayed there for like a week, maybe a week, but they had to keep me, you know, because I got torn so bad. They had to ensure that the bleeding was stopping, or that I wasn't going to hemorrhage. So, you know, I understand that I had to stay there for a good while, but the extra days that I had to stay there after the bleeding subsided and all of that happened, come on, child, like, I want to go home. And you know, the food little bit, like I was complaining before, so you know that I only got fruit and all of these things. So I was hungry as well. I wasn't okay. I just wanted to be home. You know, when you have your baby, you want to get home and you want to be comfortable with your family and all of that stuff. So basically, that was my experience. Hopefully, if I was to get, not putting this in the universe, anybody, but if I was to get pregnant again, I know that that would not be the hospital of my choice. I'd want to go to another hospital where I feel more comfortable, and maybe where I could have like my mother or the father of the child in the room, because that would feel so much better, just having a familiar face. I know that if my baby father was in the room, or if my mom was there, or maybe even my dad, I'd have felt much better than just having a bunch of people I don't know, and then the situation is not amazing, and you know what I mean. So there's that. Thank you guys for listening, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. You guys know I always tell you guys to share this. Share it with your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, everybody, you know, people who can relate. And yeah.
Get my shooter de la Vega killers links. Them candy still link with the bad one done with the spinach in a million in hand. Me a killer, how me prefer.